I'm here doing my best video log, and this is my oldest dog, Domino. I'm going to put her down because she wants to go down. And right here is my little sweetie pie, and right over here is Buddy, who's a Winnie dog, and I have my little Asher. Anyway, I was doing the best video log, and upon that, I gave a compliment to my instructor because I was really being pushed to do my best, and I didn't think I was going to start getting so encouraged by his class. And I thought I'd let him know that because I thought it was important to do that. And by doing that, I realized that I also was being uplifted, and so that was great. So on that day, I went to the lunch that was for the orientation for new students, which all of us got to benefit. It was a nice lunch. And I noticed there was a lot of plastic being thrown around and aluminum cans. And I thought, man, that would be good for the stable house. But no, I didn't have time. I had to go to school. I had classes to go to. So I went to my math class, and there was a student there that needed help with her new computer, and she wanted to know how to pin her website so that she could have it on her tiles, and she didn't know how to do it. So I showed her how, and I was glad to do that because it was something that I learned how to do, and so that was good. And then in my computer class, there was a student there that didn't know how to download her information that was provided by the instructor to put on her USB thing. And so I was able to do that too, so I helped her, and I felt good about that. So that drew out my best by sharing my knowledge, whatever little bit I have. So about 3:45, I was done with my last class, and so I was going to go home and just proceed to go home, let my dogs out, and just continue on my day, probably doing homework. But I saw all that plastic, and I'm like, oh, do the best you can video. Okay, well, that meant I needed to take time to pick up that plastic and soda cans because it would benefit the stable house for the things that we do, which is to house the homeless or people that are in transition, and also to feed the hungry of Lemoore. Last year we served about 900 families. So that's how I do it with the plastic and the cans. That's how I make the money to be able to finance that. So anyhow, I proceeded with that, and just like every time I do that here on campus, I'm always confronted by the staff that are maintenance or the cleanup crew, whatever they do. And they always tell me how unsafe it is, that I could hurt myself with a needle, and really, should I be doing this in front of the students? Well, like I've always argued with them before, or not really argue, I just tell them, hey, I've been doing this, I know how to pick without getting hurt, and that's how I usually leave it. But I'm not embarrassed by what I'm doing. So, but I often thought about what do the students think when they see me pick trash. But since I do it for others, it doesn't really matter to me because that's just something I had to push through and not care about my image in that regard. So anyway, because of that, the fact that I'm in a student this year, I thought it'd be best that I go ahead and go through the proper channels. And I thought, okay, fine. I'll talk to Mr. Rubio, find out if he can give me actual permission to collect the cans, plastic, and would he give me the green light. So I made an appointment. It's going to be for the next day on Friday. And so we'll see how that goes. So I only made it home with one trash bag of plastic. I went home, and my plan was to get ready to just slam into the homework. But about 5 or so, I ran into my neighbor who called me just the night before and offered to do my lawn. And I just said, hey, I'll do it. It's just that I had other priorities. I just didn't want to do it. Procrastination, you know. So I thought, okay, it needs to be done. It's 4 inches over. It's kind of long. So I need to do it. So I did it. And I made dinner, and I was really happy that I made those accomplishments. Soon after dinner, I went into my homework and started at 7, didn't end around till 10, cleaned up the kitchen, got ready for the next day. 5 o'clock the next day, I got up, made breakfast for myself, and let the dogs out, take care of their needs. And at 6:45, I'm arriving at the campus to work in the snack bar. I work there every day. I start at 6:45. I get out at 9:30 or 11, and my duties are to prepare chop up all the vegetables so that it'll be prepared for the hamburgers and salads and whatever other duties that my supervisor would like me to do. That's what I do. And then right after that, I went to my classes, and that was pretty cool. I had a phone call with one of my former people that I went to church with years ago, but we weren't really close friends. I just knew of her. She called me up, and I was really kind of bothered with it because I didn't have time to do anything with it. So I just wondered why she's calling me. I'm not her close friend. I'm not even really a good friend of any sort to her, but she called me, and the reason she called me is that she wanted to share her day, and she had a bad day. She's a heavy-set woman, like myself, only she walks with a cane, and she took a bad fall, bruised her the palms of her hands pretty bad, and bruised her face a little bit. So I told her, I said, hey, come over the next day, and the campus, I have this time available, and maybe we could have a soda and talk about things. And she, to my surprise, she agreed, and she's going to come and see me. Then I went to the office, and I spoke with to make that appointment, and I ran into a classmate of mine of 20 years ago, maybe 25 years ago, and she had a heart attack, and it was only a couple of days, and she's out here walking around the campus doing really well. Typically, most people who've had surgery like that aren't walking around just 2 or 3 days later. But she had a why. Her why was because last year she got shot. And because she got shot, she was in the hospital and dropped a lot of her classes. So she didn't want to go through that this year. She wanted to continue on with the process of her education. And she wasn't going to let anything get in the way of that. Not even a heart attack. Talk about motivation. That says press on, move on. And that inspired me to do better. There are so many things that I did that were ordinary, but pushed me to do the little extra of extraordinary, in the sense that realizing with that phone call with that lady is that we're all connected, and we should do our best. Whether we're close friends or not, whether we're relatives or not. And that's essentially what I do. And I'm learning that. And that's why I'm here in this school, to try to apply to do better for myself and for those around me. Because when we invest in ourselves, we're actually investing in our community. So whatever we're going for, yeah, I'm in agreement with Mr. Fortune. Let's do our best, all of us. Have a great day. Hope this works out.